Hey everyone, it's Dr. Greg Rose. I'm here in the biomechanics lab here at TPI, and I want to respond to some of the questions we were getting, some great questions on YouTube from the Hayden Springer video. So we just launched the video with Hayden, and he was talking about motor learning. And learning is one of the most important things anytime you're doing a sport. You're learning new skills all the time. And we always want to try and make sure you learn these skills the fastest possible. And I talked about random practice versus block practice. We had a lot of questions on when should you do random versus when should you do block. So I want to do a little deep dive in this. Okay, so let's talk about this first. First of all, just so we're on the same page. Again, block practice would be like, let's say I'm going to go hit 100 putts from 5 feet. I just do the same putt over and over again. Random, I take one ball and I just putt to a bunch of different random shots. The research is really clear here. Random practice tends to make humans learn faster, right? So we always encourage to do random practice. Now that doesn't mean block practice makes you bad, right? It's just random usually goes faster. Now I want to make it first, let's talk about when you could use block practice. First of all, I'm talking about learning a new skill. If I was going to go do a free throw contest, let's say it was going to be a competition, and I knew the competition was in 1 hour, what I would do to prepare for this competition is I would throw free throws for an hour. I would do block practice because I'm about to compete. I'm not trying to learn anything. I'm just trying to get perfection down on this one shot. It's kind of like if I was going to do math and I was going to learn how to do 23 times 12. I would go through and I go, okay, if I know the contest is going to be 23 times 12, I would just practice 23 times 12. And I go, let's see, that's 276. And I would just keep going 23 times 12 because I know the contest is 23 times 12 and I want to get good at it. The problem is golf, we don't know what our next shot's going to be, right? It could be in the rough. It could be in the fairway. There could be some wind. There could be some mud on the ball. There's random variables throughout the entire game, right? So it's hard to prepare for the shot that you don't know what's about to happen. So most sports is like this. You don't repeat the same shot over and over again. So the research is really clear. If you want to get good at math, you have to do random math formulas. You can't just do 23 times 12. And this is the same thing with golf, right? We want to be able to do random practice as much as possible. So if you want to just warm up to go play golf, right? I'm not trying to learn anything. Like I'm going to warm up on the range before I go play. Block practice is fine, right? Because you're about to go, let's say you're about to go hit your tee shot. Why don't you practice doing the tee shot 10 times in a row on the range and then go hit your tee shot? Statistically, it'll be better because you're just trying to prepare for the shot you're about to make. But if you want to learn how to hit a new shot, like you want to learn how to hit a draw or a fade, or you've never learned to play golf before and you're trying to learn a new skill, this is where random practice comes in. Hopefully on the range before you play, you're not trying to learn, you're just trying to warm up. But if I'm trying to learn a skill, I want to go to random practice, right? And this is what's really, really important. Now, how do I know I'm ready to go to random practice? Well, you have to have the feel of what you want to go practice. And I always say, like, let's say you're over the top, you're swinging over the top. There's a feel associated with that motor pattern. If somebody shows you that you're over the top and you now get one swing where it feels like the swing not over the top, if you can feel the difference, if you can say, okay, when I'm on plane, I feel my right hip, but when I'm over the top, I feel my left hip. As long as you can feel a difference, it's time to go to random practice. Right? There has to be a feel difference so that you can, when you go to random practice, you know if you mess it up or not, right? So I also use block practice to make sure I can get the feel of what good versus bad feels like. Once you have that feel, not if you're good or not, I switch to random practice. So just to make this point clear, if I'm a beginning golfer, it might take me, let's say 30 or 40 block practice shots to get the feel difference. Whereas if I'm a very experienced golfer, I might be able to feel the difference with 2 shots. So depending on your skill level, it might take you longer to get the feel, but once you have the feel, you go to random practice right away. Okay? So that's a little guidance on how to go from block to random. Remember, if I'm not trying to learn, I'm just trying to warm up, block's fine. Before I go to random practice, make sure you can feel the difference. And as soon as you can make that feel, go to random practice.